Hello, everyone. Welcome. Please let us know where you're tuning in from. What city, country, in the comment section below. We'll be starting in about a minute. Where's everybody tuning in from today? Enugu, Nigeria. It's nice. British Columbia, Canada. Welcome. From Lagos, Nigeria, Kuwait. Where's everybody else tuning in from today? Edo State, Nigeria. Lagos, Nigeria. We got a few people from Lagos today. That's nice. We start in a minute. Tuning in from Morocco. Welcome. The UK, Ikotun, Lagos. I think Lagos is, we have a majority of people tuning in from Lagos today, so welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome wherever you're tuning in from. My name is Bester Godfrey, Canadian Immigration Specialist at Tofino Immigration Consulting. At Tofino Immigration, we help make Canada your new home. Today, we're going to talk about one of the provinces on the east coast of Canada, Nova Scotia. If you like seafood, this is definitely a place you want to visit, or you probably want to live. But seafood is not all that there is to this province. So today we have a special guest, Sharifat, who's lived there for a couple of years. She's going to help us better understand this province. And if you have any questions during the live, feel free to put them in the chat box below. And we'll be taking some questions from the audience as well. So as usual, invite a friend, invite a neighbor, and I hope you have a great time. I'm going to find our guest and I just put in the comment section below for now where you're tuning in from. Thank you. Where's everybody else tuning in from? We got lots of people from Lagos. Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hi, Sharifat. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Hi, Best. Thanks for
Thank
having
you
me.
thank you for taking the time. It's a pleasure to have you on here today.
Thank you.
So,
My pleasure to be here.
so today we're going to talk about your special province. I've only been there once, so it wouldn't be fair to say that I know Nova Scotia too well. So you're the person on the ground. You live there, so you're going to help us better understand your province. How long have you been there for now?
So I've been here for 4 years and 9 months.
4 years. That's a long time. And out of all the provinces in Canada, we have 10 provinces and three territories. But you went all the way east, far east coast. Why did you decide to? Why did you choose Nova Scotia originally?
Well, to be honest, the reason why I came here provincial nominee program, we got nominated by the province, so that's why we came here.
Okay, and uh, and so, what do you love about the province so far? You've been there for 4 years, and there's no law that says you necessarily have to remain in the province, but you've been there for this long. So, what do you love about the province?
Yeah, well, I love the fact, I love the warmness of the people. The warmth here is very appealing. I love that people here are very kind and warm. And also like the fact that it's not a big province. And the city where I live in is also not it's not a big city. You're able to move from one end of the city to the out to the other. I like the fact that I'm able to navigate easily, and I've lived in Lagos all my life, so I did not like. So I'm happy that I'm in a smaller city where I'm able to raise my kids, not in a very big province or city. So that's why I like it here. People here are really, really warm. So I guess that's what has, endeared us here this long. Be 5 years in August. So I mean, we could have left somewhere else. Like I said, there's no law that, prohibits you from moving around Canada. But we love it here. So far, that's why we are still here.
And do you think you're going to continue staying in Nova Scotia for an extended period of time?
Yes, for sure. I mean, never say never. I can't say I wouldn't live here, but as of now that I'm speaking to you, yes, I do intend to live here for as long as I can. I have no plans to move like in the near future.
Yeah. So lots of people, everybody that I know, they want to move to Toronto. Everybody want to go to Ontario. That's the first thing that comes to mind. But sometimes they go to Toronto and they get shocked about how expensive the life in Toronto is. So it's always nice to know what cost of living is like in different provinces, of course. So in Nova Scotia, where you live, what is the cost of living like in terms of, say, rent? Let's start with rent because that's usually the most significant in terms of cost.
Yeah. So before I go on, so just I'm like disclaimer. So I'm not here to speak for Nova Scotia. I'm not like a mouthpiece or an authority to speak on the province. I'm just a resident here. Anything I say here is my personal experiences or things I've heard in over the years, okay? So I put that out there. So
That's fair. That's fair. So disclaimer has been.
yeah.
We'll welcome the disclaimer, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So for cost of living, it's quite relative. So the cost of living for person A could differ from person B. But generally, the cost of living here is quite affordable. It's quite moderate. So for rent, so for example, for a two-bedroom, that's what most immigrants or newcomers usually get when they come. But if they're like in a family of 4 or 5, so the cost of say two-bedroom apartment here averagely it's about $1,200. So like 1,200 thereabout. Some could be more expensive than that. Some could be as much as 1,500, 1,500, 1,600. Depending on the amenities, on the area where the house is, or the features that that the landlord or the house owner is providing for you. But on the average, it's about 1,200. I would say, yeah. So
And this 1,200 is a monthly cost. Is it a yearly cost?
oh, it's monthly. So and that's so most houses don't come. So it's not furnished. So it's like an empty apartment, two-bedroom. It does cover it, but no power. So you pay for your own power. I think that's about what you pay. So the rent covers just the monthly payment and the it. Yes.
Okay.
For bedroom. For a one bedroom, the difference is not always so much. So maybe a couple of dollars, maybe $100 or $20 difference is what a one bedroom will cost. For example, for a 3 bedroom, it could cost as much as 1,400 or 1,500 thereabouts.
Okay. So for a single person, well, you came as a family, then you came with your family and your kids. So can you give us a range of what it cost you for your first place you stayed at?
Oh yeah. So we came here in 2016 August, and luckily we got an apartment from Nigeria before we landed.
Okay.
So where we stayed was for 750 at the time that we came here. It was 750. That's about like that for a two-bedroom in Halifax at the time. They were even at that same 750 that we were paying. Some were paying as much as 1,000, 1,200 at that time. So for maybe another if maybe a more posh area, I would say, or more features that the apartment offers. So at that time it was 750 and it covered it as well. And our power. So usually in Nova Scotia, I don't know how it's done elsewhere, but in Nova Scotia the power bill every 2 months. So your bill is for 2, and then we are paying between $80 and $100 for 2 months. So on the average for 1 month, that's $40 to $50 thereabouts. Even at now, the maximum I've people pay for an apartment for power will be like say $100 or 80, 20 for those 2 months. So for 1 month, it's 50, 60 thereabouts.
So for this 750 you talked about in 2016, when you guys showed up, is that how many bedroom was that?
It was 2 bedroom. Like I said, that was like cheapest apartment in Halifax. Like
Right.
It is old to start with. So these are the things that also actually built to the cost of an apartment. So it's an old building. It's an high rise. So that's what like so at that time people were still paying like 1,000 won two for a similar probably in buildings or another area.
Right. Okay. Do you have any idea on real estate? Because eventually some people want to buy a home, right?
Uh,
Do you have any idea of what the cost could look like for getting like a single family home, for
yeah,
example?
sure. So before I answer that, let me just go back to the rent. So then it was 750. That same apartments that 54 almost 5 years ago now cost about one now.
So it's gone up. So when you got it, then was it like a discounted rate, or you just got lucky?
Well, I would say discounted because then they were even offering you pay 1 month, you get 1 month free. Halifax then was very so people were very coming in as people are coming in now. So then you could have even apartments that will tell you pay 1 month, we'll give you 1 month off, or pay 1 month, we'll give you half months off, or they're even offering referrals to people who recommended people like tenants in. So then it was more like they were looking for customers, but now it's not the same thing at all now.
Right.
Houses now they are more expensive now, I would say.
Yeah. So that same house would be like 1,200 right now.
Yes, now right now it's 1,200. I have a friend that lives there. It's for 1,200.
Right.
So
Okay.
for the same thing applies here as well. Before you could get say a 3 bedroom house, full detached for 300, 350 as far back as 2 years before, like a year plus or 2 years ago. But now since COVID started, houses the price of has like skyrocketed. Now
Right.
for a detached house for 3 bedroom and a good area, you could be paying as much as say 450, 500, or even more. So
Wow.
how is so even at that, I would also be honest that be fair that compared to other bigger provinces, it's still affordable. It's still something you're able to afford compared to if you have to compare it to bigger provinces. So it's still not bad, I would say.
Right.
Yeah. So about 400, 450 for a full detached 3 bedroom. For a semi-detached, maybe say 350,000 thereabouts. So
So I've lived in different cities in Montreal, Calgary, Vancouver, and I know one of the most difficult cities to find a place to stay probably Vancouver, and there's lots of competition and the rent prices are a bit high. Is it easy to get a place to rent in Halifax, which is a major city in your province?
yeah, like I said before, it was easy. It was easier. Then when we came, we even had somebody help us rent a house before we landed. But now I've had people look for house for months. They have to stay like in Airbnb or in hotels for 1 month or 2 months. Before it was not that bad, but now, like just 2 weeks ago, I was looking for a house for a family. It took us about 2 months before we got an apartment in Halifax. So things have really changed. People are moving in. They are students. They are families, PR who are coming in. So it's becoming very competitive now. There are no referral fees. There's no 1 month free, 1 month pay, 1 month free. All of things are not anymore. Like you can't even find a place to start with. How much more get a rate that is discounted. So things are tightening up. I would say it's more competitive now than when we came.
Right. Okay. So someone told me once that it doesn't matter how expensive rent is, as long as you get a good job that makes up for that you're able to afford rent really. So if you make good money, it doesn't really matter how much you're paying on rent. Um, so let's get towards the industry a little bit. What is the industry like in terms of jobs for Nova Scotia? Are there any dominant industries for careers in your province?
Well, I wouldn't use the word dominant, so to speak. I mean, there's every occupation here.
Okay.
Maybe not as big or as large as other bigger provinces, but there's literally anything like if you're a IT specialist, if you're a customer service admin person, and you find thing here. But the truth is, the opportunities are not as much as it is in other places that are bigger. But really, every occupation is represented here. But the ones that maybe that are more available, I would say IT is available here. We have customer service, admin jobs, government jobs, and yeah, that's what the ones I would say that you would easily then healthcare jobs as well are easily are out there. Like you can find them in almost no time.
Right. The I mean, even with the COVID and lots of people now are starting to work remotely, I think it's be easier for people to live in a place that is less expensive and still be able to search for work anywhere else in Canada. So it's something they can look at. Not everybody needs to live downtown Toronto, for example. Like you could be living in Halifax and still be able to find job, and that allows you to work remotely. So I think that's one of the beauty for this type of situation that we're in right now.
Yeah. Yes, just to add to that. So that's the beauty for those probably who lives in bigger cities and are looking for more affordable housing, for example. But for people, and that's one of the factors that I hear that has added to the of housing here for real estate. People in bigger provinces are moving here because they're able to work remotely. As a result, they're able to live in more affordable housing, and you get their pay wherever it is they're coming from. So those that live here are not happy about that because it's made people who live here. So that's what if you see a house, for instance, for say 350 for a 3 bedroom apartment, for a 3 bedroom house, somebody from say Ontario or Alberta is offering to even pay more than what the asking price. So you see a house that was listed for 350 and eventually it sold for 420. Somebody in the bigger place who don't mind paying extra just to outshine those that live here. So if you're, I mean, if as a home seller, you don't mind getting more, right? So that's one of the reasons why the housing is, is becoming worrisome for those that live here. It's good
Correct.
that people are coming, but it's affecting those who don't earn as much as those who live in bigger cities, are not able to compete with them because the scale is not like they're not on the same pedestal, right? So
Right.
that's one of the things that's added to people's frustration here as regarding housing. People are not able to afford houses because I mean the price that people are offering home
Yeah.
sellers are way above what we typically pay in Nova Scotia.
Because there's a bidding war,
Yeah,
and lots of
yeah,
people would
mhm,
offer an amount of money that the local people can't even compete.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the market, it's the law of the market. So
All right, yeah, I
it's
get
just
it.
quite unfortunate. And I think one of the factors affecting that too is lots of people are no longer need to go to the office every day for
Yeah.
work downtown, so they don't need to live downtown anymore. So now they decided to work remotely, look for work that offer that remote part of the job, and they can live wherever, right? So they don't even need to be living in Canada. They can live anywhere and still be able
Anyway, you
to
walk.
work.
True.
So it's something quite interesting. So let's talk. You might not have all of the answer to this, but in terms of, is it easy to get a job in Nova Scotia before the pandemic, for example? Because you've been there for about 4 years, so you kind of know what it was like before the pandemic and what it's like right now. But normally, for a new immigrant, is it easy to get that first job?
Well, ease is quite relative. So some people come here in have a job. Some people even get a job from outside Canada. I've had a family who husband got a job from Nigeria. Some will come here and start with probably what we call like survival jobs or jobs that probably it's not in their field, but it's as easily available. So for some job types, not easily available. Some are like when you come, you're able to do like banking, finance, customer service, admin. Those are quite like available. But when it comes to like engineering, aside the availability as well, there are also other roadblocks that they have to, overcome. Their certifications they have to do. I think that's not peculiar to Nova Scotia anyway. So there are some regulated occupations you have to, get regulated for. So for those occupations, you're not able to get a job like when you come. You have to go through the path to get, like public license or author to work in that field. But besides that, the ones that are not regulated, I mean, it's not for everybody. Some get here in 2 weeks, they have a job. It's how intense you're able to do your job search or how much you network, we're looking for a job and people could refer you. But on the average, it's not so bad, I would say.
Okay. And while people are working on getting their licenses, getting the licenses for Canada to get recognized, like say the nurses or the teachers, uh, what kind of survival jobs are there for them to do in your province?
Yeah, I think I'll just who work in this. So I wouldn't say that.
I'm having a hard time hearing you. I'm not sure if the network is okay, but
Can you hear me okay now?
There you go.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
I was saying I'll take the word survival jobs back because there are people who do these jobs as like their own profession. So I wouldn't like to, to denigrate that. So some those jobs I'm referring to now will be like say customer service, banking, finance. So somebody who's an engineer and comes to take a job for banking job or customer service, for him or her, like like a means to an end for that person. So that's not that like their core job. So those
Right.
jobs they're readily available. They are able to do those jobs. Customer service, banking, admin, healthcare jobs. Those are like easily available, I would say. I mean, from my own experience and from what I've heard, those jobs are there for people to take while they get their feet like firm on the ground.
Okay. And that's awesome when you went back to the word survival, because I think any work is honorable, right?
Yeah.
Because starting to work, and if that's a profession that is most appealing to them, wonderful. And
I
if
think
they
it needs
try
to,
to transition into, we can call it transition jobs,
yeah.
I guess, if that's a word.
Some people even, from there, change like a career path. Somebody who's an engineer probably think, okay, I want to be an engineer. But maybe after doing this admin job or job for a while, they like it and they just, stay there. Not because they have a means to go elsewhere, but because over time they found fulfillment in that job. Just stick with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing too. I think people should, keep an open mind, because I was talking to a client one time, and he was saying how he was an accountant back home in Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria as well, and he was saying he wants to come here, and this is all he ever wants to do is become an accountant. And I said, yeah, that's wonderful, but keep an open mind, because you just never know what the landscape is like when you arrive.
Yeah,
You might try something else, like say in IT, and you might like it,
like
and if
it.
you like it, then that's new beginnings for you, right? So we don't want people getting this idea that this is all there is, because the landscape here for career and life might just be different. You might not need
True.
to be an accountant or stuff like that. All right. So in terms of, did you come here with your kids, or did you have your kids here?
So I came with two of my kids and I had the third child here.
Okay. And so I want to talk a little bit about daycares, because in Vancouver, there's a daycare availability like crisis, right? And there's times where people need to make deposits, and so they can have a spot ready for them. Is this the case in Halifax as well? What is the landscape like in terms of daycare for you guys?
We have a similar issue here as well. You have to have like be on the waiting list, for example, so it's not readily available. Like when we came, even though when I came, I wasn't planning to work immediately. So I meant to just like take like a month or two off just to chill and also to do like some courses. So we had this like a settlement agency where they offer courses maybe on finance, on just life in Nova Scotia. So I did those for that time. So what I was doing, I was looking for a daycare. Like I went close to like 4 or 5 years. I did not get a spot. So the building where we lived had one daycare downstairs. So I was on that waiting list. So after like 3 months or so, we got a spot for my two kids. So
Did you
one was
pay?
when we came, and the other was not up to school age. So one was doing full time, and one was doing like preschool or after school care. So it's similar.
Did you have to pay to be on the waiting list?
And no, you don't have to pay. You
Okay.
don't have to. So it's when you get sports you pay. You don't have to pay before you get like
Mhm. Uh, All right, let's get back to the job search a tiny little bit for people who are potential immigrants. Do you have any tips for them to get that job from their home countries, or when they arrive immediately? Because people come with settlement funds. For one person, it's almost $13,000, and that wouldn't last too long if you don't. The government expects that money would last you 6 months, so it doesn't last you too long. So what can people do to get a job as soon as possible? First of all, in your opinion, again, this is all opinionated. So,
yeah.
uh, do you think they should get any job to start, or should they use up the settlement funds a little bit to get like a certification for a career that might be more desirable?
So the first question was how to go about job search.
Yeah.
So for one, I would encourage people that so if you're coming to a province that offers settlement services, I'll employ you to take opportunity of those settlement services because they do help. Like in the case of Nova Scotia, we have one called ISANS, Immigrant Services, as you know, Nova Scotia. So they offer settlement services, wide range for job search, for filing your taxes, for applying for child benefits, for different things that they take care of for you. So if you're able, so we also have what we call like pre-arrival services. So before you come at all, they offer you services. They let you know about the country, about the province. It's called SOPA. So if you can do that before you come, I mean, you're already like getting some experience as to how things are run in the province you're coming to. Then also when you land, they offer settlements services. So you go for their courses. Some are like 3 days, 1 week. You have to get a breath of how things are done here. And also they offer you what we call the employment specialist, who helps you with your resume, who advises you, who just talks to you about what your career path are, what your goals are, and all of that. They are able to, to guide you, so to speak. So that is what I recommend people to take advantage of. Then two will be networking. So if you have friends, if you go to maybe your mosque, your churches, anywhere you go to meet people, network. Tell them you're looking for a job. Let them know what you're looking for. You never know who could refer you to what job. And also, like you said earlier about keeping an open mind. It's okay to aim high, to be ambitious. That's no problem. But you have to be realistic. So if you have a lot of money that you're able to spend while you wait for your choice job, good for you. But if you do not have that much money to expend while you're waiting for a choice job, I recommend that you start with as much. Something decent. In Canada, there's dignity in labor. If it's not something that is too difficult for you to do, we'll start with that. So it's not. I wouldn't say take up jobs that you don't want to. I wouldn't say take it. So it's up to what you want. If you have funds to plunge while you wait for your dream job, it's up to you. So I'll say that. Keep an open mind. I know you might even get something that you might even like and try to go through another career path. So just be open-minded, network, talk to people, and I just advise people to take on.
I think being open-minded is key, like we talked about before, because again, the settlement fund is not expected to last you too long. 6 months is a very short time because you come, you find an apartment, you rent a place, you buy some furniture. Before you know, the money is starting to fade away a little bit. So it'll be nice to start something. So that way you can have a cushion at least, and you can use your settlement funds for something else. I don't know, put it in the bank. I don't know, make a deposit for something like whatever. But you can save that money if you. But I think upgrading your skills is also important as well. If you're not quite where you are, what I'm really against though is hanging on to past glory too much. For example, if you were a doctor back home, I understand that you want to be a doctor in Canada too, but you might not be immediate. So you might want to start somewhere while you're preparing for your exams to get the license in Canada. You can't just sit at home and say, I won't do any job until I become a doctor. That would just be a little silly, right? Because you need to still take care of yourself and maybe your family. You got responsibilities. So I'll say, don't take a job that'll break your spirit, but at least start something so you can have that peace of mind to continue the studies for the licensing that is required in Canada, so you don't break your spirit and also break your bank accounts as well. So will be something to think about. So when you guys arrived in Nova Scotia, was this your first time in Canada?
Oh yes, that was our first time.
And what did it feel like? What was the first feeling when you got to that province? What was it like for you?
Well, before we came, we had heard all sorts of stories about how Eskimos live here, about how cold it is, about how live here, no black people, no job, all these. We had all.
Okay.
If we had an alternative, maybe we wouldn't have come here, to be honest. But because we had just PMP rights, we had to come here. I'll say that all of those things we heard were false, like totally false. The weather here is not so bad. There are jobs here, maybe not as much as other bigger provinces. You can live comfortable in Scotia. It's a beautiful city, very rather. The people here, like I said earlier, they are very, very receptive, very kind. So it's a place that you can live and thrive.
Okay. Were you guys able to make friends easily in your
Oh,
family?
oh yes, yes. So, like I said, when we came, so the person that got us an apartment was the person dropped his name and number on a platform called Naira Land. So that if you're coming to Scotia, this is my name, this is my number, help. So I reached out to the person and I told her, oh, we are coming, we are coming and all of that. So it got with another family, like a younger family like ours. So from there, we got an apartment and we were able to make friends with those ones. And I mean, back as far back as 2016, if you tell me a Nigerian name, tell you where they live, like we are that closely knitted. Like there are people here who are Nigerians and even non-Nigerians, right? So yes, you've been able to make friends. In fact, I can even say that I've made more friends here than I did make in Nigeria. Because in
Okay.
Nigeria, everybody is busy, right? You don't even have
Right.
time for how much more your own friends. But
Right.
here I've had supports, amazing supports, like mind-blowing ones. So I'd
Okay.
say that yeah, I've had friends that have turned to families here. Yes, yes.
Wonderful. And in terms of activities, is it a boring place? Honestly.
Well, boring would be relative.
Okay.
So someone who, for instance, in Lagos used to go to parties a lot, we don't find Nova Scotia fun because there are no such things here. It's more of nature kind of fun here. So if you want to go like all those big amusement parks are not here because it's a small province, right? So we don't
Right.
have that fun stuff here, but you are able to make do. I mean, even with how small it is, you are able. Like for me, it's not bad. We have
Right.
you could travel around. There are fun spots that you could have fun at. So
Like Peggy's Cove is pretty nice.
that's right. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
like our first place that we went to as tourist attraction. Yeah.
Right. I remember driving there, and the wind there was pretty strong, if I remember correctly. It was a bit cold,
Yeah,
but
going into the water if you're not careful.
yeah, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot about seafood in the East Coast and the food. Do you like seafood? Let's start there, I guess.
Yes, I do. Lobsters and the rest. We do eat
Okay.
them.
And so Nova Scotia, it's what is it known for then? Is it just first of all, it's seafood. It's very much available in Nova Scotia, but is it affordable?
Unfortunately, it's not affordable. Like you think that because it's available here, it's not affordable like that. It's still expensive. I'm not sure why that is, but it's still expensive. But it's available. It's expensive, and like so for Nova Scotia, what it's known for. So like the tagline for Nova Scotia is Canada's ocean play. That's
Right.
what we are. There are a lot of waters, lake, seafood, like you said. Yeah. So those are things and the warmth of the people, something that we know that they know in Berkshire for. So those are the things that we are known for.
For people tuning in today, if you haven't followed her page yet, you should do that because she has lots of information about life in Nova Scotia. So give her a follow. Everyone tuning in today, so you can learn a little bit more about the province. So back to you, Sharifat. I'm not sure if you know anything about the. You've been there for 4 years, so I assume you might know something. But in terms of nightlife, is Nova Scotia like a happening place for people who might be interested in that sort of activity?
Yes. So we do have like downtown, like Halifax downtown, Halifax, for example, there are a number of clubs there. If you are that, clubby person, you find somewhere to go to in Nova Scotia, in Halifax, and other cities as well. Yes, there's a night, so not as big as other bigger places, but yes, there are clubs, there are fun spots you're able to go to at night, restaurants and all that. Yes, there is.
Beautiful. How about the infrastructure you guys have, like say for the transit metro? Do you have like a train system or just the buses? Do you have Uber?
We don't have trains, but we have buses. We have a ferry as well. So you're able to, and they are quite, they are available. You could find them. So the buses do ply around. Yes. So we do have like a very good bus system. Yes, I would say, and ferry as well. We don't have trains.
How how about Uber? Do you have Uber?
Yes, we do have Uber. Just came maybe about a year or so. Yeah, so
Okay.
it's pretty new. Yeah, but we do have
Yep.
Uber.
Well, as long as you have it. So I see pictures of Nova Scotia, and I see you guys almost buried in snow sometimes. Is it just a lot of snow, or is it very cold as well with a lot of snow? What do you think?
Well, I've seen it's not so bad. Like it's not as just like I'll give an example how how the West paint Africa. Like when they put up pictures of Africa, they put up pictures of people who are not eating, who are starving, and all of that. So people usually it's probably like the severe cases. It's not that bad in Nova Scotia. We do have strong snow, but it's not that bad. I've seen worse scenarios in other provinces. Like in last October, during I don't know there was this protest in Nigeria about the NSAS.
Yeah.
In October, and I saw some pictures in October of people who were protesting in I think Alberta.
Okay.
It had so much snow. At the time, we're still seeing a bit of snow in Nova Scotia. So
Right.
I've seen places that are worse in terms of winter and snow. It's not that bad here. I mean, it's severe sometimes. When we have a snowstorm, it could like block up all your garage and all of that. But it's not that bad. It's not that bad, I would
And if you
say.
dress and if you dress properly as well, then
I mean, yes, there's
go out
nothing
and you
like
can play around.
to say. It's if you don't dress well for the weather, you feel cold. You could get cold, in all honesty, but it's not that bad. If you keep warm, you'd be good.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. The when we immigrate to places, we always it would be nice to have people like us in such communities. In Halifax, where you live, is there a strong African community in that province of Nova Scotia?
Yes, there is. There is. We have associations that look after Africans, Nigerians, and other African countries. So we do have, I would say, we do have a strong association that represents Africans and Nigerians and other African countries. Yes.
On some, see, you can get African food like the
Oh yes,
Nigerian food you
yes.
used to.
When we came then, we had just say 2 African stores. Now we have as much as 6 African
Okay.
people, that provide African food to us. Yeah.
So you don't have to ship in stuff from Nigeria, and you can just
I've,
buy it
I've,
locally.
I've never had to ship anything. Yeah. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
So your love for the province is pretty contagious, as people have been commenting. You're a very good ambassador for the province, but there's always things that people don't like about. There's pros and cons about certain places.
Sure.
What do you not like about the province so far?
So for one, it could get boring sometimes. Like I said, like I've not attended any like Owambe party, like we say in Nigeria, like any happening, large crowded parties. That's not something you're able to see here. So I miss that life sometimes, once in a while, but I'm not able to to go for parties, dress up, and all of that. One, then two, what else? And the cold, which is not peculiar to only Nova Scotia. Canada as a country is a cold country. So I'll say the cold is something that I don't enjoy sometimes when it gets really cold. Then what else? I mean,
Okay, so
yeah,
what city did you live in Nigeria before you immigrated? Was it Lagos?
Lagos, yeah,
Okay, so
Lagos.
that's a pretty populated city. So for somebody who immigrates from, say, Lagos or Abuja, one of the major cities in Nigeria, and boom, all of a sudden they end up in Halifax, we talked about them, they might be a little bored, and that might be a shock to the system. How do you adjust to that change?
Uh the reason why it wasn't an issue for me was because I was already tired of Lagos life. Like I was tired of that, that mega city life where you're in traffic for hours, for minutes. Like in Halifax, in Nova Scotia, the maximum time I've spent to go to work is about 20 minutes. That's like the maximum amount of time I drive to work. In Lagos, if I drive 1 hour to work, like it's a good time for me. Like it's a good my work at the time we came, I was spending about 90 minutes, 2 hours to drive to work. Here you can drop your kids at school, you can go to work. After work, you can go to the library, you can go for swimming. You have that's that time to yourself, right? So
Okay.
I really did not miss Lagos at all. Once in a while I miss the parties, but if I'm to choose, I'll choose this life over again. I mean, I
Well,
have kids I don't want to raise in, but if I was single, oh yeah, I may have preferred Lagos life because I mean it's just me, right? But I have kids who I need to spend more time with. I have a husband, and so I don't miss that life anymore. So I like the life that I live here. If I'd come to from Lagos to Toronto, for instance, I would have fit in because that's the life I came from. I wouldn't mind. But now that I've come here to a smaller city, I'm really, really content with how my life is here. Like I don't want to go back to that kind
so
of
I'm not sure if single people by default immigrate to Nova Scotia. What are your thoughts on that?
most times it's usually students or
Okay.
people who get PNP. But
So,
so
so for a single person who immigrated to Nova Scotia, they chose that as a province of destination, and they're bored when they arrive. What do you have any advice for them to be able to fit in into the province?
when I say bored, when I say boring, I'm talking about I'm comparing it with Lagos life.
Okay,
The students here
less activities.
there are students here who still, have their phone, like their club in downtown Halifax. They are, if you are, maybe because I don't have a lot of friends that are students, but if you're a student, you know that there's this fun life as well, even in this small Nova Scotia. Like we have a lot of universities here, so they do find things to do that fun. So it's not like it's not that bad. Like it's not that I'd say it's not that bad.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about you and what you do. You started this page, Life in Nova Scotia. It's a beautiful page. I do follow your page as well, and like most of your content that you do put up. You're a good writer. What inspired you to start this page, Life in Nova Scotia?
Yeah, so prior to coming to Canada, I've always been I write, I blog, I have a personal blog that I write on, so even before I came to this country. So when I came in 2016, I continued to share my experiences about Canada. So in 2018, my husband thought that it was better I do like a platform that talk about specifically life in Canada, a focus on Nova Scotia. So that's why I love to share my experiences. I love to share things people. So that's the motivation, behind starting this page. It's just and I think that Nova Scotia is not well represented out there. People hear the cons. They don't see or hear about the pros. I thought to highlight that more. People are better informed and just to get some more education about the province.
Well, so far you've been a great ambassador for Nova Scotia. Even your page being just dedicated to one province, because people could say um, it could be general immigration to Canada kind of page, right, or information about Canada, but you just specifically said it's about life in Nova Scotia. So I think that's
And
pretty cool.
because to be unfair to say life in Canada, I don't live elsewhere. So, and
Yeah,
even though it's the same country, each province differ from various areas. So I just thought it's best I just focus on where I live.
yeah. Okay. So when you immigrated to Canada, were you prepared completely for your immigration to Canada and Nova Scotia, or what did you wish you knew before you immigrated to Canada?
But I was prepared because I was like was only my body. I was in Nigeria. My soul, everything was in Canada. So I was hoping that this country I'm coming to is going to favor me, and to the glory of God. I mean, it's done well for me. So what are the things I wish I knew? Probably would be like not to what's the word now? uh Not to underestimate myself. Because I was coming to a country like this, I assume that anything I see or anything I get, I'll take it. I did not aim high enough, and that's because I didn't see any page or anybody that talked about Nova Scotia. For example, I didn't know what to expect in Canada. There were no pages like this on Instagram or anywhere else that talks about life in Canada. But now people are better informed. You're able to know that you're able to, even from your own country, you're able to apply for jobs. You're able to appeal issues. So so that's something I wish I knew better. I really did not aim high enough. I would say I did not think that. I just assume that, oh, somebody from Nigeria, anything I see, I just take it like that. So I think that that's one of the things I would do differently if I have to go back in time.
Okay, that's awesome. So, are you working in the same career that you were working in Nigeria now that you're in Canada, or did you have to make some changes when you got here?
Yeah, it's quite similar. So back in Nigeria, so I have a BA in computer science. So even in Nigeria, I wasn't doing like core IT job. I'm an Oracle data administrator, so I was more of a software person, and also I did something similar here in Canada. So I really haven't like deviated totally for my field. I don't do core IT. I'm a service desk analyst. So I offer IT support. That's what I do. And I was doing something similar in Nigeria, even though I was doing Oracle database. But since I moved here, I haven't done that here. Done Oracle database administration here, and it's because I don't tend to go that way. Like I have other plans, also like buy and all of that. So that's
Awesome.
why.
And for how was how was fasting for you? You were fasting there for a bit. How was this period of fasting for you this year?
It was good, just that we couldn't, move around. We are down now, so that's what made it a bit difficult. We are not able, because usually during Ramadan, we Muslims, even back in Nigeria and here, we come together. A family could host like 2 or 3 more families, so like we have dinners together and all of that. But that is not something we're able to do this Ramadan. So that was like the challenging part. But other than that, it was good. And compared to Nigeria, the hours are longer here. In Nigeria, it's say 14 hours maximum, but here it could go as much as 16, 18 hours fast of the time difference and the weather, I think. Yeah.
Okay, and your religion, Islam, do you find it? You practice it in Nigeria, but when you came to Canada, did Canada change it at all for you? Did it make it a little more challenging to practice? Was it just the same for you? Is it just a mindset thing? Was there any difference when it came to that aspect of your life when you immigrated to Canada?
Yeah, I'd even say that Canada has better enhanced my religion. It's made me even, become a better Muslim if I say so myself, because the even typical Canadians who are not even of any religion, their life exemplify so much kindness, so much good, that even as a non like someone who doesn't have any religion, they are that good. Back in Nigeria, people, you could see churches, mosques on the same street, and then doesn't reflect on people's life. But here you see religion reflect people's life. They make it, let's cumbersome for you. Back in Nigeria, it's like probably like a do or die, but here it's not the same thing. And one of our neighbors, the fear he had, quote and unquote, was and I remember his interview was that people are going to Canada. But not even, we are still trying to be better in the faith. And now you're going to the West, won't it get worse and all of that. So I held on to that and I had that fear as well. But honestly, since I came here, there are mosques here, there are Muslim schools, there are things that enhance your religion. Nobody, I mean, there's discrimination, there's racism, there's phobia that is there, but people are very respectful of your religion, so much that they don't even want to trample on you or on it for any reason. So I think that my religion here, it's been better enhanced, I'll say, here than it was in Nigeria.
Are there any specialty like schools for people who want to send their kids to a religious school, for example, a school where they
Oh,
teach Muslim values? Is it possible in Nova Scotia?
oh yes, there's one. My kids go to one, so yes, and there are other one as well.
Awesome. So, for potential immigrants coming to Canada, do you have any words of wisdom for potential immigrants, or is there any words of wisdom in general for people that want to come to Canada?
I think we already touched on that earlier, and I'd like to also amplify it a bit.
Okay.
It's to keep an open mind. It's a new country, it's a new place. The values are different, the way of life is different, the culture is different. So be open-minded. And honestly, if you are, you would thrive as much as you want. So that is what I would want people to do. Don't think, okay, I'm Nigerian, I have to I mean, you're able to, it's a multicultural country. There are diverse, culture here. That's what I like about this country as well. You can bring in your culture, you can, maybe at work, for potlucks, you can introduce your dishes and all that. But don't, and also as regards saying sexual orientation, there's gay here, there's lesbian. Don't say because, I mean, some of our religions that we believe, some of us don't support that, but you don't come here and say, oh, you're evil. You don't, you have to be very respectful of other people's choices, of religion, of their sexual orientation, of whatever it is they choose to be. You have to be very respectful of that. So as you're coming in, because some people have gotten into trouble for that, they didn't mean any harm when they did or said what they said, but in Canada it could be seen as something else if you bring that kind of, you know, life here. So be respectful of other people's culture or religion or values. And also, nothing I would like to say is, you know, be network is something I also encourage people to do. They say a closed mouth is a closed destiny. When you come here, don't be shy. In Nigeria, we say, don't, you're being proud. You don't blow your trumpet. Here, if you have to blow your trumpet, please blow it. Right. You never can tell. Canadians will tell you, if like for in the workplace, maybe somebody does, maybe you move this one to another. The next meeting, they're saying, oh, that person, he did that, you moved this. You'll be like, but I've moved like 10 tables now. It's not even saying, so what's the big deal? There's a big deal. You have to blow your trumpet, because those are the things that, amount to when you're being up for appraisals, for salary increase. Those are the things, very small stuff that you think that it's no big deal. It's big. Yeah. So blow your trumpet as much as you can when you come here. In your resume, describe what you have done, analyze it, highlight how much work you're able to do, and that would go a long way for you. And the last thing I always like to say is also volunteering. Canada is big on volunteering here. Even in my workplace, we have like one day for volunteering. So you can go to your a choice volunteer, maybe a food bank or a place where they serve food. Just take that time off. And all those things always lets your manager know. Even aside from reward, it's also very fulfilling. Like, offering your time and money and what have you to help those who are less privileged than you are, or who are in need of that service. So I think that we should, volunteering is something that is huge here. So please, when you come, be open to such opportunities. Ask for how you can help at the workplace. Ask even in your kids' school. They have field trips. Go on it with them. That's another way to also make yourself present in your child's life, in their school. Oh, this person's mommy or daddy comes, so they know you. They're able to. I mean, even without knowing you, they are obliged to treat your child right. But if they know that if they're able to place a face to you, they'll there's opportunity for that they'll treat your child better, because you're also offering so much help and support to the school, or even to your mosque, to your churches. Just do as much as you can to help your community, and to go a long way for you, immigrants or newcomer.
Wow, thank you. Great words of advice. Said like a true Canadian. I really appreciate you doing that, because lots of people are going to learn from that. So you recently told me that you passed your RCIC exams, the ICCRC wants to become an immigration consultant. When should I expect you to be my colleague? How's that going for you?
You know how it is now. I've passed my exam. I've done everything. I'm waiting for ICCRC for my letter of authorization. So that's what is.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so some other, background work, just to get.
So Canada is a big country. Like I keep telling people, 10 provinces, 3 territories. There's plenty here for everyone. So, True. Ask Sharifat for help when she gets a license pretty soon here. But you can also ask us for help as well. We're always happy to help you guys to make Canada your new home. So Sharifat, someone made a comment there because you've spoken so well about Nova Scotia, and they talked about you running for mayor of your city. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? What's next for you? You've done the computer science in Canada. You've gotten you've written and passed the ICCRC exam. Is politics next? What's next for you?
No, no, just immigration and life in Scotia, life in Canada, chronicles, just share my experiences.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. For those of you not following her page yet, follow her, learn a lot about life in Nova Scotia. You're going to and thank her later as well. It's pretty good page with lots of great content. Sharifa, thank you so much. I know you're busy. Thank you so much for taking the time to come share your experience in Nova Scotia with us today. You make me even want to move there myself. So
Yeah.
it's been great publicity for the province for sure. So thank you so much for taking the time, and we hope to see you soon.
All right. Thank you very much for having me. I really honor. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
You take care. Talk to you soon.
Buddy, bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
All right, everybody. I hope you learned a lot about the province of Nova Scotia today. Sharifat came here and she did a fantastic job to explain life in the province of Nova Scotia to us. It's not all about seafood and rainbows. I hope you do spend time there. I hope you do visit, even if Nova Scotia is not a province you end up in. It would be nice to visit it at least one time. If you have any questions, shoot us a message. This video will be saved on IGTV and also on our YouTube channel. I'll be tagging Sharifat's page on there as well, so you can give her a follow for later. For those of you who are interested in immigrating to Canada, we can help make Canada your new home. So shoot us a message, and Sharifat will be getting a license pretty soon here as well, so you can start having that conversation with her. So thank you. I appreciate you for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time. Take care.